Hello beer tubers and welcome to another beer review with me, Peter, the master of hoppers. Today checking out another macro beer. This will be fun. I don't know why I actually got this. I thought it would be fun to just give it a shot. Just to try it, really. Even though I have an idea that's going to be pretty bad. But for 4th of July, we bought quite a few different American light lagers and also Sam Adams, which I reviewed, which was a pleasant surprise. And it was fun. We even had 40s. It was a bit nuts, but yeah, it was fun. I should have saved a can of Busch Light or Busch Lager to review as well, just for fun. But I got this one. We actually didn't have it in the whole, party or have it at the party. I just got a spare can on the web shop just to try it. So this is Bud Ice. Oh, ice, and it's ice cold. It's frosty. So Bud Ice is one of these macro lagers. It's the idea, I think it came from Canada, doing ice lagers, and then it became a bit popular in some states, like the states bordering into Canada. But what it is, it's like lagers that are basically slightly freeze distilled. So like they're just lagered really, really, really cold. So they get a little bit higher in alcohol, and that's the gimmick about it, really. Even though a lot of them aren't now, they're just whatever, it's just brands from big breweries. So yeah, this is Budweiser's attempt at making an ice lager. So their attempt at doing what they do in Canada. It's 5.5%, brewed in Missouri, St. Louis, Missouri, at their gigantic brewery. So yeah, let's try Bud Ice. Pours, what do you expect? Fizzy yellow beer color, as people would call it. No, I don't mind fizzy looking yellow beer anymore, especially if it's a well done lager, but I know this won't be. But this is what you expect from Budweiser, really. Not a lot of carbonation, looks like. Sometimes they can be really hizzy, but this one doesn't look like it's crazy carbonated. There's some bubbles going up, but not a lot. Whitehead. Let's check out the aroma on Bud Ice. Damn! It smells like so much like acetaldehyde. I can't remember the last time I've had a beer that smells like this much like green apple. Straight sour green apple, really. That's the only thing that's really dominating the aroma. Loads of acetaldehyde. This beer will give you a crazy fucking hangover. Do you know why? Because acetaldehyde, the chemical compound, it's part of fermentation. Sometimes it disappears, whatever. In cheaper beers, often, they're fermented really hot, so more of it is produced. Because you need to, really hot, but hotter. They might lager it afterwards, but often with big breweries to keep up, lager beers even are pushed to the edge, fermented fairly warm, and one of the things that's produced is acetaldehyde, and different yeasts produce it, but it's a toxic compound that will make your hangover feel worse. It's bad for you. It's really bad for you in big amounts. Sometimes if you've gone on a bender with Belgian beer in the morning, you'll be like, wow, this hangover is worse than I remember. It's because a lot of the Belgian beers are fermented really warm too, and some of them have acetaldehyde. It's not, all of them that will have that effect, and not all of them have it, but some do. And acetaldehyde is like green apple, and it almost has a slight permanent marker smell to it as well. So sometimes booziness isn't necessarily like that permanent markers thing you can smell. It isn't necessarily like booze. It can also be acetaldehyde. And people say you can smell it on people's breath. If you have a very hard hangover, you can smell acetaldehyde on people's breath coming up, like just because you're getting rid of the toxin. But yeah, acetaldehyde is not good for you in any big amounts. But just a beer won't kill you, or 10 or whatever. You need to have it all the fucking time. But that's a little rant on that. That's all I'm smelling: acetaldehyde and like corn syrup. It smells like one of the worst macro lagers I've smelled in a long time. Let's give it a taste. Cheers, guys. Wow. That's really fucking bad. That is one of the worst Budweiser products I've had. It's not as bad as like the Clamato Chelada, I'm 100% sure. I haven't had it. I'd love to try it sometime just to try it, but wow. That is fucking crappy beer. The fun thing is though, like people knock a lot of craft breweries for making like whatever a lager or something that's like it's just me. They give it a 1, but they don't look for flavors that shouldn't be in beer. They're just like I don't really like it, so they rate it down, which is one of my problems with like something like Untapped. I prefer following bloggers and stuff like people I agree with in terms of flavors and hear what they have to say about beer because I think I get a more authentic opinion than just a group of people who maybe specifically don't enjoy whatever, a beer that's made totally fine, but it has a flavor they think, oh, that's a weird hop flavor, or I don't like Nelson hops, so I don't like this beer. So, then they rate it lowly. This is something that needs to be rated low because it has off flavors. It's got boatloads of acetaldehyde, green apple, like boatloads. It really reminds me, so this is something that would be justifiable to give a very low grading on Untapped, because I think if you give gradings low, it has to be because of off flavor. You can't just give it a low grade. If you give a beer a dumping grade, like it would fail, and if it was an exam, but there's nothing wrong with it, it's just not your preference. You can, of course, there's always going to be subjectivity, and I rate subjectivity on the channel, but I will always, like, if a beer is made right to style, I'll give it a decent grade, even though I might not like it that much. But, this is a beer that would get a failing grade in my mind. And I'm impressed, but it's Budweiser, they don't care. They just churn it out for the masses to get wasted. Wow, it's terrible. I don't even want to fucking see how this is when it warms up. It tastes like a mixture of just green apple acetaldehyde and just like corn syrup. And then like this just like grainy, just like syrupy, corny, malty thing. This is fucking terrible. This is a really, really terrible beer. It probably gets you fucked up though, but it probably gives you a mean hangover. I mean, if that's what you're in for. Man, this is terrible. I will say, like, I'd rather drink Bud Light than this, but that's just because Bud Light tastes like beer flavored water. Whoa, it's bad. I'm just taking more sips just to try and figure out if there's any like hop character or anything. There's maybe a little bit of a peppery hop note, but the big thing is just like acetaldehyde all over the board, and like corn syrup. Terrible, 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 terrible. I'm 100% going to drain pour this. Rating. I think this might be the lowest grade I've given in years. I think this is pretty abysmal beer. This would be like a 1.5 on Untapped. I think it might even be. I know. I'm sure there's beer that tastes even worse than this. It has like a lot of clean, cold. Not cold. It's cold. Temperature doesn't have a flavor, but it's got like very clean, like clinically clean tasting. I don't know. It's been pressed through various Casey-Cool filters or shit like that to get like this brightly cleared, but. Yeah, I'd probably grade this like a 1.5, I think, on Untapped. That's really low. That's like, what, a 30? Maybe something like that? 30, 20? It's really fucking abysmal beer. It's fucking terrible. One of the worst fucking beers I've had in like years. I thought this would be okay because some of the American macros have been like, but not like where you think like this is fucking terrible. It almost reminds me of the Danish Årgangsøl. Like these high ABV crappy lagers done in a like American ice way, in a lower strength. It tastes like those, just colder and lighter, really. And those are fucking terrible. Oh, terrible. Dropping cans and shit. Must be the acetaldehyde. No, this is very bad. Yeah, like a 30. And that's all she wrote. So if you guys had a chance to try Bud Ice, let me know what you thought of it. This is definitely one of the worst Budweiser products I've ever had. What's yours? Maybe you have a favorite. Let me know. What's my favorite Budweiser product? Bourbon County Brand Stout by Goose Island. But yeah, if you guys had it, let me know. As always, comment, subscribe, check out the Facebook fan page, Twitter, and Instagram. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. I'm not even going to bother saying cheers and that. And see you guys in another beer review.